Good day, everyone. In this session, I am facilitating Knowledge Topic 6 under Knowledge Module Outcome 1. This knowledge topic focuses on record keeping and documentation in the receiving and dispatch environment. I want to start by making something very clear to you. Record keeping is not administrative work that only office staff are responsible for. It is a core part of your job as a receiving and dispatch clerk. In a warehouse environment, two things must always move together. The first is physical stock. The second is information about that stock. When these two do not match, problems start immediately. You may physically receive the correct goods, but if you do not record them correctly, the system will show incorrect information. This affects planning, ordering, payments, and customer service. This session is designed to help you understand not just what documents exist, but why they exist, how they are used in real work situations, and how assessors expect you to explain them during assessments. Before we look at documents, we must understand why record keeping exists in receiving and dispatch. In the receiving and dispatch environment, record keeping refers to the process of creating, completing, maintaining, and storing documents that provide evidence of all stock movements. These records show what stock arrived, what stock left the warehouse, when it happened, and who was responsible for the activity. Record keeping ensures that there is always a traceable history of warehouse activities. This history is critical when questions, disputes, or audits arise. In receiving, record keeping confirms that goods physically arrived at the warehouse and were checked properly. Documents such as delivery notes and goods received notes are used to confirm quantities, descriptions, and the condition of goods. If these records are missing or incomplete, the organization cannot prove what was received. Proper receiving records protect the organization from paying suppliers for goods that were not delivered or were delivered in a damaged condition. In dispatch, record keeping confirms that the correct goods were picked, packed, and handed over to the correct party. Documents such as picking slips, dispatch notes, and proof of delivery provide evidence that goods left the warehouse. When customers query deliveries or claim that goods were not received, dispatch records are used to investigate and resolve the issue. Record keeping supports business operations by keeping system stock aligned with physical stock. It supports financial control by allowing invoices and payments to be checked against real movements. It supports legal compliance by providing evidence during disputes and audits. It also supports accountability by clearly identifying which employee performed each task. Now that we understand the importance of record keeping, let us examine the specific records used in receiving and dispatch. Receiving records are used to document the arrival of goods at the warehouse. These include delivery notes, goods received notes, inspection checklists, shortage reports, damage reports, and discrepancy forms. Each of these documents serves a specific purpose. For example, a delivery note shows what the supplier claims to have delivered, while a goods received note shows what the warehouse actually accepted. On this slide, I want to explain the importance of receiving records in the warehouse environment. When stock arrives at the warehouse, it is not enough to simply unload the goods. We must also create accurate documentation to confirm what has actually been delivered and accepted. One of the main documents used during receiving is the delivery note, which comes from the supplier and lists the items they claim to have delivered. As receiving clerks, our responsibility is to check those items carefully against the purchase order and the physical stock. Once we verify the goods, we complete a goods received note, often called a GRN, which confirms what the warehouse has officially accepted into stock. During this process, we may also use inspection checklists to assess the condition of the goods and discrepancy reports if there are shortages, damages, or incorrect items. These records are important because they create a clear, traceable record of what was delivered versus what was accepted by the organization. Dispatch records document the movement of goods out of the warehouse. These include picking slips, packing lists, dispatch notes, delivery notes, proof of delivery documents, and transport manifests. These records confirm what goods were sent, in what quantities, to which customer, and on which date. All warehouse documents must link to each other. Receiving documents must match supplier documentation, and dispatch documents must match customer orders. When documents do not match, it indicates a breakdown in control. Such mismatches must be investigated immediately and recorded according to procedure. Documents must not only exist, they must be controlled while work is happening. Record control during operations refers to how documents are handled, checked, and authorized while work is still in progress. This is different from storage and filing. During receiving and dispatch, documents move between people and departments. Each movement creates risk if not controlled properly. Active records are documents currently being used for receiving, dispatch, investigations, or audits. Archived records are documents that have been completed and stored for long-term reference. Learners must understand this difference because assessors often test this concept. Only authorized personnel may approve, correct, or cancel records. Unauthorized changes undermine trust in the system and may result in disciplinary action. Once records are controlled, they must be completed accurately. Accuracy in documentation means recording exactly what happened, not what was expected to happen. Guessing quantities or copying information without checking is unacceptable. If information is missing or unclear, it must be escalated to a supervisor. All required fields must be completed clearly, including dates, quantities, product descriptions, reference numbers, locations, and signatures. If documents are illegible or incomplete, they cannot be used as evidence. Completed records must now be stored securely and retained correctly. Poor record keeping leads to stock discrepancies, repeated investigations, and operational delays. Financially, poor documentation results in incorrect payments, stock write-offs, and audit findings. Legally, the organization may be unable to defend itself in disputes. Employees may face disciplinary action if they fail to follow documentation procedures. Good practice means completing documents immediately, checking them for accuracy, controlling them during operations, and storing them correctly. Good record keeping protects the organization and protects you as an employee. Before we close this session, let us recap. In this session, we examined record keeping and documentation in the receiving and dispatch environment. We explored the purpose of records, types of documents, control during operations, accurate completion, storage, retention, consequences, and good practice. For assessments, you must be able to explain these processes clearly and in detail. Understanding record keeping will help you perform your job correctly and confidently. Thank you for your participation and attention.